What's up, everyone? It's your boy, the Stutter God. I'm back with another video. Now, ever since the UN has basically confirmed that systematic racism actually exists and it's an issue, a lot of people are getting offensive. I saw this one comment where someone's like, "We can't listen to them. They're just dividing us." You know, it's a political diversion. It's a political diversion tactic, right? It's really not, cause like I mean it could very well be, but like people will say that about anything. And I basically said this to him, and his excuse that, well, basically he said you can't tell everyone that they're racist without and expect it to change, right? That's what he said. You can't tell everyone that they're racist and expect anything to change. And when I said something, he's like, it's literally political 101, but if you want to keep on falling for it, go ahead, pal. Right? So the UN never said that people were racist. So I don't know where he's getting that from, right? So that's obviously telling me he's pulling shit out of his ass, right? But I expected this because you can't say something that challenges someone else's belief and expect them to just fall for it, right? To just accept the facts. Because a lot of people, they don't want to accept facts. They live in their own little world. Yes, this could be a political version. Yes, the government does divide us. But is that the only problem? No. I guarantee you that if we get rid of the government right now, white supremacy will still exist. That's a fact. So the government is probably to blame, but it's more so the foundation of America itself. And again, we've always been divided. So I don't know what he's trying to claim, because obviously you know what the fuck he's talking about. I mean, he does in his own way, but logically his argument makes no sense. As soon as I challenged him, he was like, "You need to stop watching Robert Peterson," right? And it took him like a few comments to actually take me seriously. And his excuse was that it's just a government tactic, right? The whole it's a government use racism as a ploy to divide the middle class. Is that probably true? Yes. Is that the whole truth? No. It's more of a issue that involves history, denial of fact, and overall the lack of accountability. But in his mind, we okay, we Gucci. It's the government's fault. It's all of their fault. It's part of their fault, yes. But again, it goes bigger than that. But like I said before, I was expecting this because you can't expect to challenge someone on their beliefs and not just openly deny it, and or make up shit on their own. Like people say that BLM is a terrorist organization. That's an outright lie. It is. It's a lie. But you see, instead of actually doing the research, it's all from word of mouth. And as long as it aligns with their beliefs, they'll accept it. No facts needed. I read this one comment was like, where when the government basically announces the new plan on the new act on terrorism, aka white terrorism, since the right wings have been gaining a lot more, have been gaining a lot more prominence. But yeah, they said that, and one person now replied was like, "But yeah, BLM and Antifa is not called a terrorist organization." What's okay? Antifa, yeah, okay, yeah. Antifa probably, yeah, they probably deserve to be called a terrorist organization. From their actions alone, they should be called a terrorist organization. That's a fact. Opinions aside, that's a fact. BLM, however, not really. Out of all of our protests, 93% of them were peaceful. But yet, they're called a terrorist organization. That's what people keep saying. They've done no research whatsoever. And if they do the research, they nitpick. Like, oh yeah, BLM, they're responsible for this, that, for that, da 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 da. And or makes it up on the spot. Tell me one person that's from BLM that got arrested. One person. That's associated with BLM. Tell me one person that was locked up. Because I watched a lot of videos of a person not being able to name one individual that belonged to BLM that was locked up. Not one individual. That's the sad part. There probably are. Don't get me wrong. But that's not because of the BLM actions itself. Not really. You're always gonna have one individual that fucks it up for everyone else. That's a fact. That's human nature. Try as hard as you might, you can't stop that. But that doesn't change the fact that 93% of their protests were peaceful. And you know who did insane violence? The police. No one wants to talk about that though. No one. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about how white supremacy is becoming more and more dangerous. But hey, that's his old news, right? That's the thing he said too. He was like, you're tired that screaming social justice and screaming that it's actually getting worse. It is getting worse. It is getting worse. That's a fact. It's getting worse. And clearly he didn't do his research. And what I'm saying will be linked below, so if you don't believe me, check it out for yourself. But yeah, it's getting worse. Now, that doesn't mean right or left, violence is still violence. It's wrong. I believe that it will be needed at some point, but not right now. So it's wrong. Violence will always be wrong. No matter the cost, it will always be wrong. Violence is violence. Right? But clearly the right wing are more dangerous than the left wing. Just based off statistics alone. And a lot of people are in denial about that. Especially Trump. He was in denial about that. He was like, Antifa, Antifa, Antifa. That's all he was talking about. But yet the Proud Boys were okay. They were Gucci one day. And again, this is human nature. With a few brainwashing tactics here and there. What do I mean by brainwashing? Well, when something serious happens, and let's say a black individual dies, right? Immediately from what you heard and from what you've seen, you associate that person with criminality, right? Why? Because off of the conviction rate among blacks are pretty high. So by that sense, we as black people, in your minds, are more likely to commit crime in a race. Even though white people commit way more crime than we do. Even though for systematic racism. But hey, that's how it works. That's how it works. All they need to do is associate black with criminality, and they won. That's it. It's all propaganda, bro. It's always propaganda. Take the Haiti's president, for example. It's funny how the first two individuals that that was seen that was shown on camera that were identified to be the ones who to be a part of the group that killed him were black. Those two individuals were wrong, both black. They were the first to be identified, the very first. Not only that, but when they were, the Haitian president's face was right next to them. But you'll notice that other than that, his face is nowhere seen compared to the other people. Only those two black individuals. Propaganda right there. Come on now. You can't tell me that's not propaganda. You can't tell me that's not propaganda. You don't believe me? Look it up for yourself. The Haiti's president's face was right next to them, but compared to everyone else, that face suddenly disappeared. That's okay. That's okay, because it's not nothing new. It's not, and it's funny how people complain about black and black crime and how we blacks commit more crime, this and that and this. But when it comes to actually fixing the problem, they don't want to do that. They tell us, yeah, y'all go fix it yourselves. BLM, Black Wall Street, several other versions of Black Wall Street. And what I mean by that is there were, in terms of the massacre, because there wasn't just one Black Wall Street that was massacred. There's several others. So yeah, that's what I mean by that. That type of incident didn't only happen to them. Not at all. But it's hard to find out how many because people sweep it under the rug in terms of history. So it's hard to pinpoint just how many there was in terms of that genocide. I mean that's what you got to call it. I mean, what else? I don't know what else to call it. I really don't. It was basically genocide. But yeah, Black Wall Street, several other Black Wall Streets, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, BLM, all those incidents, it's us trying to better ourselves. But all those incidents also have one thing in common. It never worked out. Martin Luther King died. Malcolm X died. Black Wall Street was destroyed. Like, when we try to better ourselves, we're suddenly hit by a wall. And no matter how hard we try, we can't get over that wall. So what do we do then? We try something else. Same result. We try another thing. Same result. Try this. Same result. And it's to the point where, how do you want us to better ourselves when we are not able to? Genuine question. And they're going, just by saying that, they're gonna claim that, oh, I'm just being a victim. No, this is a genuine fucking question. How do you expect us to better ourselves when shit like that keeps happening over and over and over again? How? Like common sense. Common fucking sense. How? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Break it down. You can't. The only way to explain it is to make us look like the bad guys. That's the only way to explain it, right? That's how it's going to happen. Each and every time. And it's one individual. It was in my comments. Now, I couldn't find his comment. I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it. I think YouTube deleted it. But either way, this individual said that white criminality is much more of a problem than alleged. Right? That's what he said. Even though statistically that's not the case, but that's what he said. Why did he say that? Because the evidence goes against his belief. And another thing, he says that not wanting to fix the problem, not wanting to solve the problem, but simply wanting to point the problem out. That's it. That's all he wanted to do. He just wanted to point it out, and that's it. He didn't want to do anything about it. He just wanted to point it out. And let's actually, for the sake of this argument, let's say that's true. Okay? Let's say that's true. Why is that? Why? Could it be of, I don't know, poverty? And in fact, with that poverty comes a higher rate of crime, because poor people are more likely to commit crime. And that's not every poor person. You see, when I say that, people get offensive. Right? They get offensive. Like, well, I come from a poor family. I ain't commit crime. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you, bro. Good for you. What does that have to do with what I'm saying? It doesn't say the fact that poor people are more likely to commit crime. I'm not talking about you as an individual. I'm going by the facts. So you can get offensive all you want, but that doesn't change the facts. So you can get mad, but I don't know what else to do. Bro, like, those are the facts. So get over it. I mean, I got over it on my part. So you can do the same, bro. So like I was saying, higher poverty rate equals higher crime rate. But let's look at Chicago, for example. Chicago have way more police. Actually, they have a lot of police, right? They have a good amount of police there. It has a lot of police funding, anything like that. Look at their crime rate. That shit is through the roof. It's through the roof. It's going up instead of down. Even with more police. Why? Because that's not solving the issue. You're not getting to the root of the problem. You're just throwing blue badges towards it and hoping that it will solve itself. That's not how it works. You want to actually solve it, you need less policing. Police reform. Budget cuts. Actually defund the police. Either way, I guarantee you that those results will have better outcomes. Way better outcomes. But people don't bear the fact, like, we tried that. The crime rate rose. You know why? Because police officers were calling their buddies and be like, yeah, let's show up to work today. And they were like, alright, bet. And that's how the crime rate rose. Because no one bothered to show up to work. No one. So it's funny how, at the end of the day, people say that police are to protect you, but when they don't like something and when it goes against their belief, all of a sudden they don't want to protect you no more. They don't want to protect you. Now all of a sudden y'all fending for yourself. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? I mean, all I'm saying is, terrorism is on the rise. The crime rate can be fixed. People are delusional. BLM is not a terrorist organization. Get over it. And actually try to fix the problem if you don't like it. Those are called big brain moves. Anyway, guys, so all that said, I'm ending the video here. I thank everyone for watching. I thank you guys for adding to my subscriber count. I really appreciate that. Hopefully we can get to 50 subscribers. Probably not tomorrow or the next day, but we'll get there. With that said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Black first. Peace.